What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dirtbag EDC. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Wurkkos HD01UV. This flashlight has, I couldn't even begin to give you a number. I mean, this flashlight probably has 30 different features. It's a very feature-rich flashlight. And just bear with me. Like I said, there's a lot of features. I have a bunch of them written down. I've owned this flashlight for a decent amount of time, so I do not have the original packaging. So I don't have the box or the paper that says all the different features. So I had to go through and find all that and write it down. So just bear with me. I will try my best to go through every feature and showcase that to the best of my ability. We'll start off with the price. Right now, these are $49.99 on Amazon, so $50. But there is a clickable code for $17.50 off. I think that's pretty good. Drops them into the into the 30s. I mean, less than $35 for this. I think it's worth it for less than $35. At $50, I still think it's kind of worth it at 50. It's just obviously I feel a lot more comfortable around the $35 range for this flashlight. USB-C rechargeable right here. USB-C recharging. We'll just go over the basics for now before I start getting into the features. Obviously, you have that double pocket clip where you can put it on the brim of a hat, put it in your pocket. I will say this pocket clip is very tight. So in certain pants, certain jeans, stuff like that, it might be a little bit tight getting in and out. It's not super fast to get out, being that this is, like I said, super tight. You have a magnetic base. I'll show you that. A very strong magnetic base too at that. I mean, it's very strong. So, in one of the pictures on the Amazon listing, the guy stuck the knife in the tree and then stuck it on here and used this Sidelight, which we'll go over that, in his campsite or something like that. So that's an option if you wanted to do something like that. All right, we'll get into the features. This is where it's going to get. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me and hold on. We got a lot to cover. We'll start out with the first one. To lock it, obviously, we're on right now. To lock it, click it 4 times. It's going to flash at you, letting you know it's locked. Click it 4 times, flashes again. Oh, I didn't click it fast enough. That's my bad. 4 times and it's on. Okay. Let's start with the top one. This is probably the top one has the least amount of features, which is kind of interesting to me because it's a flashlight, and the top button obviously turns the flashlight on, but it has less features than the bottom button. We'll go over that. Okay, so you turn it on. Hold on, let's go. See, I'm already losing what I'm doing. All right, let's start at the low setting. Okay, let's see. All right, let's turn this off. Let me tilt you guys up a little bit. All right, so on the low setting, it's hard to see my notes now. Right here, I will say, disclaimer, I looked on the Amazon listing. I cannot find what the different lumens are for. I mean, this is the low, medium, high. I can't find what the lumens are. I couldn't find anything. I do apologize. But pretty good low. If you hold it for 2 seconds, it goes into the moonlight. Click it on. Here's your low for your first click. Hold it. Go up to your medium. Hold it again. Go up to your high. You double click for turbo mode. Big difference there. That's high. That's turbo. High. Turbo. Turbo's 1200 lumens. Gonna give you a flash warning for anybody who has any sort of issues with flashing. I am gonna hit the strobe really quick. It is very bright and very fast. Flash warning. Triple click it for a 1200 lumen flash. Very, very good flash. That's probably one of my favorite features. Very good for, if, walk through a parking lot, or if you're, a female walking to your car after work, if you work late nights, stuff like that. Somebody gets into your house. Good to have that strobe. Okay, what else do we got for the top button? All right, I think that's it. I think that's it for the top button. You just got, hold it for a little moonlight. One click. Oh, it remembers the last setting. I forgot to mention that. You got low, medium, high. Double click for turbo. Flash warning again. Triple click for strobe. Look one time for the UV. UV is good for all kinds of things. A few examples. Say you work, I don't know, say you're doing a garage sale, right? You want to check money, make sure the money's good. UV light will be able to detect if the money is real or fake. If you live in, say, Arizona or somewhere where there's some form of desert land and you have scorpions, you can detect scorpions with a UV light. So this would be very handy for camping, any of that kind of stuff. If you work, say you're a bouncer at a club or you work law enforcement, you can check IDs, see if the little UV spot on the ID pops up, see for fake IDs. Very handy with the UV. Also, really quick, right here, this is battery indicator. So obviously you got green is, I don't know what the exact range is, but green is, full battery, red, or green, orange, red. Also for the bottom button. Okay, this is where we start getting into the crazy features. Okay, so if you double click it, the side light will turn on. If you long press through here, you'd cycle through the modes. So you got low. I'll turn this off again so we can see, because this one obviously is. So you got low, medium, high. And this is what I was telling you. That guy had the knife stuck into the tree, and he had the light right here, and it was like a camping light. I think that's pretty handy. I think that's very smart. All right, so that's it for that. That's your side light. So double click, turn it on. Also remembers the last setting. Cycle through the modes. Okay, so you got long press. If you hold the side button just from here, just push and hold, you get into your color mode. And if you push and hold that, it's a gradient. So it'll cycle through all the modes. You got green. It just cycles through every color. And if you find a color, say, ooh, we like that bluish, tealish color. Cool. Double click on this when you're on that color, and it'll go into a flashing. So say if you're, I don't know if I'll be able to, I don't know how far I am from the red, but let's see if we can get back to the red. Okay, pink. Cool. Well, it's orange. Okay, I skipped the red. Double click on that. Obviously, we're using the knife. Say this is the side of your car. You're parked on the side of the road. Clip it to the side. Now you have an alert bar, a very bright one. It doesn't look super bright on here, but if I were to turn this off, you can see it's very bright. So you stick this to the side of your car. That way people can see you coming down the road. Okay, what else do we got for the side button? Give me 1 second. Let me take a look. Okay, so we got the double click for the flashing. Okay, now this one, when you triple click, I just want to put another disclaimer out there. I am not law enforcement at all. I am prior military. I was in the Army, but I'm not law enforcement at all. So I personally would never use this one. I don't really know exactly why they put it on the flashlight. I'm not a huge fan that they did, because I don't think any civilian needs to have this feature. I just don't see any reason why anybody that's not law enforcement would need to use this. If you can think of a reason, drop it in the comments, please. Let me know. I can't think of any reason why me, as someone who is not law enforcement, would need this feature. Obviously, it's pretty obvious what it is. So from here, when you click on here, this is how you triple click to get to that. Triple click, and then if you triple click again, I believe. No. Double click. Okay, so triple click to get into this. Double click to get into this, like, I think they call it the water droplet. which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know, kind of like a little party light. I don't know if you're having a party. I don't know, stick a bunch of these flashlights around your house or something. I don't know, but it's cool. I guess it's a cool little feature. I think it's a gimmick. I don't really, again, don't know what I would use this for. I guess if I was having a party at the campsite, but I think this part's a gimmick too. And then double click again to get into the waterfall is what they call this. The other one's the water droplet. This is the waterfall, which this one is pretty much just pretty self-explanatory. Different colors just come from the end. I personally think this one's cooler than the other one, but and then double click again, gets you back to the very illegal, if you were to ever use this or stick this on your vehicle, extremely illegal. Don't do it. Don't ever use this feature. You have to click through it in order to get to the other ones. You have to triple click and then double click. There's no way to get to these features or this feature without going through the other one. But yeah, like I said, I told you guys, hold on. This video was going to have a lot of information in it. I do like this flashlight. I use it at work every once in a while. I'll carry it with me. Right now, I don't really carry it as much. I work construction, so I have lights in my building now. But at the beginning of my project, when I didn't have lights inside the building, this did come in handy very well. That turbo mode, I could use this high mode right here. You know, good. Here, I'll hang you guys up. I could use this high mode right here. Double click into turbo mode if I got into a darker area of the building. I never used any of these features or anything. I didn't really use those when I was at work, but I definitely did use the high and the turbo a lot. The turbo came in handy a lot. But I do love this flashlight, little RGB, the water droplet and waterfall ones. They're cool. I have no use for them. But, I mean, I guess they're cool. Yeah, I have daughters. I don't know. I'd stick it in the room or something like that. Let them have a party or something. I mean, I think that's about all it's good for. But, yeah, I'm going to close out this video. Just want to say shout out to Wurkkos. It is a nice flashlight. It's a little bit on the bulkier side compared to some of the other flashlights. But it also does have a lot of features. You know, the Olight, the Arcfeld Pro, the flat ones, they don't have the Sidelight, so they can make them a lot thinner. But which I would like to get my hands on one of those. Just over $100 for a flashlight is a lot of money. I have no issue admitting that. But if anybody wants to send me one, or if Olight's watching and they would like to send me one to review, I would greatly appreciate that. But yeah, I'll close out today's video. Just want to say, great flashlight. If you can get your hands on one, if you like all the cool fancy features and everything like that, you can get them for under 35 bucks right now. I think that's a great deal. That's about what I paid for it. I think I've had this one for maybe 6 to 8 months. But I'll let you decide if this would be a good light for you. Has a lot of features. Would this work for you? Drop a comment and tell me, like I said, if that little police flashing one, tell me what that would be used for. Because I can't think of any civilian real world situation where you would need to use that. Or the little RGB ones. Tell me if you can come up with a good reason for that. I appreciate you guys coming by. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.